or lecture 2. So in the last class, we have studied about what is the dimension, what does the meaning of measurements, what is the, what are the fundamental and the derived physical quantities, right? Today we are going to learn about the different applications of dimensional analysis and mainly how do we are going to deal with the different dimensional formulas, right? So let us understand that as I explained it to you as the last class, that in mechanics we will be requiring only three dimensional quantities, three fundamental quantities, physical quantities, with which we can express all the dimensional formulas, right? So as long as we advance in the topic, so we can study about the other dimensional, fundamental quantities. So here we are going to use only three quantities, that is mass, length and time. So let us understand that how to write down or express any of the physical quantity, basically the mostly commonly used physical quantities in the form of dimension. So let us understand it. Dimension, writing the dimensional formula. Writing dimensional formula or expressing the dimensional formula or dimensional expression of the physical quantity, right? Writing dimensional expression of the different physical quantity. So first of all, I am going to discuss about the acceleration. As this quantity is very much familiar to you in your junior classes, in class 9 probably you have studied, it is the rate of change of velocity. That means if we say that this is a vehicle which is initially moving with a velocity of u, and after some time it is moving with a velocity of v, let the time as t equal to 0 second at t equal to t second, the rate at which this velocity is getting changed is called as acceleration. It's a vector quantity, we will study about it later. If you know the basic of vector, probably you must have heard the name of it if someone is preparing for like foundations courses and all. Anyways, so acceleration is rate of change of velocity, but we are not that much concerned about it. We have to only write down the dimensional formula. So we can write the dimension of velocity divided by the dimension of time, right? So the dimension of velocity is nothing but it is the dimension of displacement divided by the dimension of time. So in fact, can't we write it as the dimension of displacement is represented as we know that the three basic quantities we are using, fundamental, m, l and t, and we are going to use l for the distance or displacement, l by t. So we can write L by T, and previously T was also present over here. So here it is going to be LT minus 2. In fact, the dimension of acceleration is m0, m raised to the power 0, L raised to the power 1, T raised to the power minus 2. Right? So this is the dimension of acceleration. So similarly, let's find out the dimensional formula for force. As we know that force is expressed as mass into acceleration. I'm just only talking about the magnitude of the force without assigning the direction. So it is m, and for acceleration we are going to write it as lt minus 2. So the expression of dimensional expression of force is mlt minus 2. So the next one is pressure. You must have studied about pressure in your fluid chapter, or pressure and force. There is a chapter that is in class 8 is also there, in class 9 also is there. Pressure is perpendicular force upon area actually, right? So this force has an expression of mlt minus 2, and for area, you know that if I'm going to take a seat, like its length is L and breadth is B, anyways its area is going to be LB. They both are length, so the area has a dimension of L square. So if it is going to be L to the power 1, and when this 2 will go up, it will become minus 2, T to the power minus 2. So the pressure has a dimension of M L to the power minus 1, T to the power minus 2. Clear? M L to the power minus 1 Or did we do any mistake? Just a minute. No, force is mlt minus 2, 1 minus 2. Okay, ml minus 1, t minus 2. Clear? So similarly, let us find out the dimension of work done. Do you know what is the meaning of work done? I mean, what is the formula for work done? The formula for work done is actually it is Fs cos theta, right? But we are going to write it as force into displacement, right? I'm going to write it as force into displacement because cos theta has no dimension. So we can write for force it is ml t minus 2 and for displacement it is going to be L. So it is ml2 t to the power minus 2. ml2 t to the power minus 2. Clear? Similarly, you must be knowing about a physical quantity that is energy. That one is energy, right? Any kind of energy, kinetic energy, potential energy, right? Anything but energy will have the dimension of, I mean, let me write down the formula that is half mv square. The dimension is going to remain same, half is a constant. So you do not have to write any dimension for this. For mass it is m, for velocity it is L t to the power minus 1. You have already find it out. For velocity it is L t to the power minus 1 to the power 2. So we can write m, L will be raised to the power of 2, t will be raised to the power of minus 2. Right? So can you see that the work done and the energy, they both are having same dimension. They both are having same dimension. So these type of quantities are called as dimensionally equal quantities. Dimensionally equal physical quantities, right? Well, okay. So let's understand it with an example. It was asked in a previous medical entrance examination. Okay, let's understand it. What is it given? So the question says that example, it says that there is a sphere whose radius is given as r. This one is a sphere whose radius is given as r and it is moving with a velocity of v in a liquid. You know, whenever an object moves in a liquid, this one we are going to study in the second part of class 11. Then the liquid puts a drag force on it. Liquid tries to stop its motion or to resist its motion. So that is called as drag force of the liquid. It is just like the friction, right? But that is provided by the liquid. So it is given that this drag force is expressed as 6 pi eta r v. V is the velocity and this is a constant velocity. Actually, it is called as terminal velocity. We will study it later. 6, all of us are familiar with this. With pi also we are familiar. R, with r is radius of the sphere and v is speed. Eta is called as coefficient of viscosity. Eta is called as coefficient of viscosity. And it is written as F by 6 pi RV. We are required to find out the dimension of this eta. Right? So let's find it out. You know that 6 pi is a constant, so it doesn't have any dimension. It's just a number. Pi is 3.14, 6 is a number, so it does not have any dimension. So the dimension of force is M, L and T minus 2. Force is MLT minus 2 divided by the dimension of radius is length L and the dimension of V is LT minus 1. Can you see this L and L are gone? So we are going to get M L to the power minus 1 T to the power minus 2 plus 1 So the final answer is coming us to be m L to the power minus 1 t to the power minus 1. Right? M L to the power minus 1 t to the power minus 1. So this is the dimension of coefficient of viscosities. Clear? So let us understand the other questions. Hope it is clear to all of you. So let's study about the different properties of dimensional analysis one by one and its application. So while expressing anything in a dimensional in a mathematical equation or writing any equation like it takes an example of all the equations that you have studied it in motion. You probably have not studied it in under the name of kinematics. In motion, probably you have seen the equations like v is equal to u plus at, s is equal to ut plus half at square, and so on. So here we have to keep some of the things that are should be kept in mind. So one of the most important thing is principle of homogeneity. That is called as principle of homogeneity. Let's understand it. What does this principle of homogeneity says? Principle of homogeneity says that if you want to express a physical quantity C in terms of x and y, x and y are two other physical quantities like x, y and c are three physical quantities. Let it be. But if it is said that C is represented as x into y, right? Remember that it may be possible that the dimension of x and the dimension of y are not equal to each other. They are not equal to each other. And it is also possible that the individual dimension of c, x and y are equal or not equal to each other, right? So there is no hard and fast rule that the two physical quantities needs to be multiplied should have same dimension with each other. But when we come to the operation of sum and difference, addition and subtraction, when we come to the operation of addition and subtraction, if we say that the same physical quantity C is equal to x plus y, then can't we write it down C minus x minus y is equal to 0? Remember that if the two physical quantities are added or subtracted, they must have same dimension with each other, right? So we can write they must have same dimension. So what we learned over here that we cannot add the physical quantities which are having different dimensions, like physical quantities having different dimensions. I'm not saying that ki same physical quantity. I repeat here, like physical quantities having different dimensions cannot be added or subtracted. It may be possible that x and y are same quantity, or it may be possible that x and y are different quantities but their dimensions are equal, just like work and energy. Work and energies are two different quantities but their dimensions are equal, right? So here the rule is the dimension must be equal. You cannot add two physical quantity, three physical quantities if they are having different dimension. If I write a plus b minus d, that means a dimension of A must be equal to the dimension of B must be equal to the dimension of D. Otherwise, you cannot do the operation. Let's study about the applications of dimensional analysis. Let's study about the applications of dimension analysis. So there are many applications are there. We will be majorly study about the four applications of dimensional analysis. So one of the first application is that conversion of units. Conversion of units. Second application is that checking the correctness of a physical quantity, which is going to be really important. And sometimes if you are enough lucky, you can also find out the answer of the questions by checking the dimensional correctness of the equation in the exam. Checking the correctness of a physical quantity. Second one is checking the correctness of a physical quantity or a physical relation, actually, not quantity, physical relation, which is quite important. Third one is to find out or establishing a relationship between different physical quantities. Establishing a relationship between different physical quantities. You will learn it one by one. We will do all the numericals based on this. The last one is the dimension of a physical constant. Or have you seen that the proportionality constant, right? Proportionality constant. So by using dimensional analysis, we can write down or find out the dimension of a proportionality constant. Calculation of dimension of a physical constant. Of a physical constant. Like proportionality constant. You know, capital G, universal gravitational constant, like those kind of terms. Proportional constant. Example is capital G, right? Okay, so let us discuss it one by one. Let us discuss it one by one. So the first one is conversion of unit. The first one is conversion of unit. Okay, I will start it with a very basic thing that we have already know this from the junior classes when we are kid only. So the first application is conversion of unit. Before getting into the technical term, let me tell you that this is nothing but as we convert 1 kg into 1000 gram. When we were kids, like we are not studying about the dimensional analysis, then we are forced to remember this expression only. But now we are going to mathematically prove it by conversion of unit application of dimensional analysis. Okay, but before that we have to keep one thing that should be always kept in the mind, that is amount of any physical quantity of any physical quantity. Yesterday also I told you, has a common expression of any physical quantity can be expressed as you know that physical quantity is n times of u, n times of u. And what is n? N is the numerical value and u is the unit, right? So that means if I am talking about 1 kg, so in this case 1 is your n and kg is the unit, right? So how to find the conversion of units from one system to another system? We have already studied about the different systems, CGS, MKS, FPS, and SI, and many times some imaginary systems will be given to you that is not listed in this form or that is not accepted. They can simply put you a imaginary system. That type of question also we will do. Okay, so remember that if you convert one physical quantity into another physical quantity, but one thing should always remain constant, the product of these two, n1 u1 should be equal to n2 u2, should be equal to n3 u3. Okay, so we can go to many number of systems. If I say that there are n number of systems, so but this form should be maintained. Okay, what is a u1? U1 is the unit of system 1. Similarly, u2 is the unit of system 2. U3 is the unit of system 3 and so on, right? So let's do it. How to solve it? I'm taking it in another page. Let's find it out. Let's convert 1 kg to, what is the value of 1 kg in CGS unit? This is a very basic thing. Let me derive it for you. Then after that we can do the other things, right? Because this one is known to you, right? So that's why. Question is that find the value of find the value of 1 kg in CGS unit, right? Okay. So let us understand it step by step. Step 1, identify the physical quantity. Step 1 is to identify the physical quantity. So we identify it, that is mass. Step 2, write down the dimension of it. Write down its dimension. We know na its dimension. Okay, kilogram is the unit. So its dimension is only m. It has only m, right? Step 3, compare the units. Compare the units. Let's compare the units. What is given and in which unit you have to express. So this is the given system and this is the result system. So here I'm going to write it as, this is an SI unit system is given. Kilogram is SI unit and or MKS you can write down, this is CGS. I write N1 U1 should be equal to N2 U2. Let me write down in an SI system, N1 is given as 1. For U1, for the unit, we are going to write it as, right? What is going to be? M to the power 1. M to the power 1. But here M is kg. 1 kg to the power 1. 1 kg to the power 1. Now, here N2 we have to find out. We know it is 1000, but we are not going to write it. For U2, it is 1 gram to the power 1, right? So here if we wish to find out N2, it is going to be 1 kg to the power 1, because this one is going to be cancelled out. 1 kg to the power 1 divided by 1 gram to the power 1. You know 1 kg is 1000. So we can write it as 1000, right? Divided by 1 to the power 1. So what is the value of N2? 1000. Done, right? So this is the answer. This is the answer. Okay. So the value of 1 kg in the CGS unit is 1000. Similarly, there is a quantity called as Young's modulus. Actually, you will be studying about it in the second part of, in the properties of matter of the second part of physics of class 11th, right? So we are going to write it as, just a minute. Question is that Young's modulus in the SI unit is given as 25 into 10 to the power 10 Newton per meter square. Now you must be wondering that, we don't know that what is the dimension of Young's modulus. You do not have to know the dimension of Young's modulus because its unit is going to tell everything about its dimension, right? You have to convert what its value in CGS unit. What is its value in CGS unit? That is the question. First of all, we have to, how to do it? Step 1, identify the physical quantity, okay, or the quantity that has been given, that is Young's modulus. Step 2, write down the dimension of it. How to write down the dimension? Newton per meter square. Newton is the unit of force, and you know the dimension of force, that is ml t to the power minus 2 divided by meter square, it is L square. So we are going to write m L to the power 1 minus 2 t to the power minus 2. So it is m L to the power minus 1 t to the power minus 2. So this one is the dimension of Young's modulus, right? Okay, let's write down that. Now comparing the two system of unit. Left side I'm writing SI because this is the given unit, and the next one is CGS. N1 U1 equal to N2 U2. We have to find out N2. This is the unknown one. N1 is 25 into 10 to the power 10. For U1 I'm going to write, see look at here how I am writing. This is SI system, so for M I am going to write 1 kg to the power 1. For L I am going to write 1 meter to the power minus 1. For T it is second in all the systems, so it is 1 second to the power minus 2 is equal to N2, and for U2 I am going to write it as 1 gram to the power 1, 1 centimeter to the power minus 1, and 1 second to the power minus 2. I'm going to remove this from here itself because this is not going to help us. N2 is equal to 25 into 10 to the power 10. 1 kg is 10 to the power 3 gram divided by 1 gram to the power 1. 1 meter is 100 centimeter, that is 10 to the power 2 centimeter divided by cm, that is minus 1, right? So if we'll open it, we are going to get here 25 into 10 to the power plus 10, 10 to the power 3, see 10 to the power 3 by 1 is 10 to the power 3 into 10 to the power minus 2. So 3 minus 2 is 1. So final answer is going to be 25 into 10 to the power how much? 10 plus 3 minus 2 is 1. So it is 10 to the power 11. I just want the value of this one, right? And this thing will become dyne and centimeter square, right? I just need the magnitude of it. So this is the answer to the question. This is the answer to the question. See how we used dimensional analysis to find out the conversion of unit, right? So let's write down the next part of it. Let's do one more question. Hope you remembered a question that we did it for coefficient of viscosity. So similarly, that coefficient of viscosity has two units. Its CGS unit is called as poise, and its MKS or SI unit is called as Poiseuille. Poiseuille, I will write it down. Dimensional formula of viscosity is given as, it's given in the question, ml to the power minus 1 t to the power minus 1 at t to the power minus 1. For how many, question is that, for how many poise? For how many poise poise is the unit in CGS system. CGS system. For how many poise or is equal to 1 Poiseuille, or how many poise is equal to 1 Poiseuille? That is there in the SI system. That is there in the SI system. Let's understand it. Same. N1U1 equal to N2U2. So that means it is openly challenging you that convert me from one system into another system, right? N1U1 equal to N2U2. Here the system is SI and this one is CGS. We want to find out the CGS and SI is the given one. N1 is given as 1 Poiseuille. For U1, for M, what I am going to write? 1 kg. It is 1 kg to the power 1. For L, it is 1 meter to the power minus 1 and 1 second to the power minus 1. Here we wish to find it out. For U2, it is 1 gram to the power 1, 1 cm to the power minus 1, 1 second to the power minus 1. See, these two are gone. N2 is equal to 1 for 1 kg 10 to the power 3 divided by 1 gram. Gram gone to the power 1. 1 meter is 100 centimeter. So 10 to the power 2 centimeter by 1 centimeter to the power minus 1. Right? So finally we are going to get it as 10 to the power 3 into 10 to the power minus 2. So the final answer is equal to 10. So what does it say you? It is 1 Poiseuille is equal to 10 poise. Right? 1 Poiseuille is equal to 10 poise. It's a very important result. You can also keep it in your, okay? So these are known units. Let's do a question of an imaginary system of unit, imaginary system of measurement, that how to deal that kind of question also. It is given that calorie is a unit of heat. All of you must be knowing it. Some may be must be knowing it or may not be. So the question is that just a minute. Calorie is okay. Question is a calorie is a unit of heat, and it is given that 1 calorie is equal to 4.2 joule. Okay, and 1 joule is equal to 1 kilogram meter square s minus 2. That is given in the form, or otherwise if you know, you must be knowing about the dimension of energy, so that doesn't matter. Suppose we employ a system, imaginary system, we employ a system of unit where mass is alpha kg, length is beta meter, and time is gamma second. Time is gamma second. So that in this system, 1 calorie has a magnitude of 4.2 alpha to the power minus 1, beta to the power minus 2, gamma to the power minus 2. Right? We have to prove this. Right? Gamma to the power plus 2, sorry. Gamma to the power plus 2. How to find it out? See, same. N1 U1 equal to N2 U2. Right? I'm using one more pen. Just a minute. N1 U1 equal to N2 U2. Then we are going to write for N1 it is 4.2 and kilogram meter square second minus 2. N2 we don't know. Let us find it out. Alpha to the power 1, beta to the power, beta meter, right? Beta meter. So it is beta to the power 2 and gamma second. Gamma second. I'm writing here alpha kg. So kg and kg are will gone. S to the power minus plus 2, right? Yeah, just a minute. Meter square, na? Sorry. Fine. It is alpha to the power minus 2. Okay, we have to prove this one. Anyways, minus 2. Well, so what we are going to do to find out N2? N2 is going to be 4.2 kg by alpha kg to the power 1 M2 by beta 2, right? And this is going to be S by gamma S to the power minus 2, right? So when you cancel all these things out, like beta meter and all those things are getting cancelled out. So what we are going to get? 4.2 into alpha will go up, it will become alpha to the power minus 1. Beta will go up, it will become beta to the power minus 2. And gamma will go up and it will become plus 2 instead of plus 2. So this is the answer to the, this is the proof. This one only we wanted to prove, right? Okay. So this is your first application. We will be doing more questions in the practice session. Okay. Hope everyone is clear about it. Let's move to the second part. Checking the correctness of a physical quantity. Second application says that checking the correctness of the physical quantity. Second application says that checking the correctness of physical quantity. Okay. Actually, it is done on the basis of principle of homogeneity. First of all, any equation has to qualify the principle of homogeneity, right? Principle of homogeneity must be qualified. Clear? But there are few of the rules that you need to be very strict about. We have to be very strict about few of the rules. So the first step is the principality of homogeneity must be met. Principle of homogeneity must be there. Okay. So some of the rules are there. We have to remember it. So the first rule is that powers are always dimensionless. Powers are always dimensionless. Anything that is in the power, dimensionless. Example, if I write 2 to the power AB. So we have to write AB must be no dimension. That means its dimension is M0, L0, T to the power 0. If I write exponential, something that is exponential, raised to the power exponential, natural exponent, e to the power x by y. So whatever is there, that doesn't matter, but it should be dimensionless. Right? Second rule is that arguments of a trigonometric ratio, argument of a trigonometric ratio is dimensionless, has no dimension. Example, if I write tan A B, AB should have no dimension. So anything that is inside the trigonometric quantity, if I write sine CT, so CT completely should have no dimension. I mean, the product of C and T must have no dimension. Third one is logarithmic value. Should have no dimension. Example, log x has no dimension. Similarly, log a by b, so it must not have any dimension. So these are the things that we have to always keep it in mind. Now let's move to the one of the example, like how to check the correct whether the equation is dimensionally correct or not, how to check it. Okay, so let's write down a question. Let an equation is given as v is equal to, it's actually not given like this, I just put it like this. So it is v equal to u plus at square. Okay, don't jump into the conclusion it is correct. Actually, the correct equation is v equal to ut plus half at square. Okay, one more thing you should keep in mind, that even though the equation is dimensionally correct, but mathematically it may be correct or may not be correct, right? Anyways, whether it is correct or not, let's check. What I told you, the physical quantities can only be added off if they have, or subtracted if they have same dimension. So let's write it down. V minus u minus at square should be equal to 0. So let's check. Dimension of v should be equal to the dimension of u because they both are velocities. But is the dimension of at square is also equal to them? Let's check it. Right? Is the dimension of, actually, the correct relationship is S is equal to ut plus half at square. Right, the correct relationship is S is equal to ut plus half at square. I just told you a wrong thing over here. That is ut actually. S is equal to ut plus half at square. So let's check the dimension of it. What is the dimension of v and u? Lt to the power minus 1, Lt to the power minus 1. Right. Dimension of at square is, a is acceleration, it is Lt to the power minus 2. T square is t square. So the dimension of it is coming as L. So that means this dimension is not correct. So this is dimensionally not correct. So this equation is not dimensionally incorrect equation. So this equation is dimensionally incorrect. You do one thing. I'm giving this question for you as homework. You just check that whether it is dimensionally correct or not. Okay. So let me do one last question, and with that I will conclude the class, and we'll give some few questions tonight for your practice as well. Maybe today or tomorrow I'll give you question. Today you revise. Question is that f equal to a root x plus bt square. Question is f is equal to a root x and bt square, where a and b are two constants. We don't know who are the constants. Those are the constants, right? And x is the distance, and t is the time, and f is the force. Question is that find out the dimension of a by b. What is the dimension of a by b? Let's find it out. Principle of homogeneity, f minus a root x. It is already given that this equation is correct. It is given that this equation is dimensionally correct equation. We have to find out the dimension of a by b. F minus a root x minus bt square is equal to 0, right? So can't we write down the dimension of f is equal to, can't we write down the dimension of f is equal to, then we can write down the dimension of f is equal to dimension of a root x is equal to the dimension of bt square. So from this we can find out the dimension of b as dimension of f divided by dimension of t square. You know that force has a dimension of ml t minus 2. T square is t to the power 2. So finally we will be getting the value of b as ml t to the power. This 2 will go off. It will become minus 4. Similarly, coming to the dimension of a. Dimension of a is equal to f by root over of x. F is ml t to the power minus 2. Root x is L to the power 1 by 2. Root x is x to the power 1 by 2. So here we are getting it as m. L to the power 1 minus 1 by 2 is 1 by 2. T to the power minus 2. We are required to find out the dimension of a and b. A by b. So we can write down a by b. Dimension is, see here itself I can say that m and m are gone. L to the power a by b na. L 1 minus 1 by 2. 1 by 2 minus 1, sorry. L to the power 1 by 2 by a, t to the power minus 2 by t to the power minus 4. So finally we are getting it as L to the power minus 1 by 2, because 1 by 2 minus 1 is L to the power minus 1 by 2. T to the power minus 2 plus 4. That will come as t to the power 2. So finally we are getting this much as the answer. Okay. So this is the answer to our question. Okay, that's all for today. We'll continue the class day after tomorrow. Fine. So I'm giving you some question for your practice. See you tomorrow. Thank you.